Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Katie and today we are going to be completing 2 more pages from the Timber Workshop collection from Close to My Heart. So here is just a close-up of the first page and then here is the second page. And like I did before on my last video, I just went ahead and cut everything up according to the directions right in that workshop kit. The vast majority of it is just really fun punch outs. So all of this up here, this actually just got punched out of the page. And then there's really just a few bases that you need to cut, a couple pieces of paper, and then the zip strip, and that's it. So we're just gonna go ahead and get these 2 pages assembled. I kind of also separated it by the pages as well, because this is a 2-page spread. So I went ahead and actually just separated it kind of in piles. And just like I did last time, I'm kind of just going to be eyeballing it. They do in the instructions have actual measurements of where to place the paper in the exact location, how far from the top, bottom, and side. I am just going to go ahead and kind of eyeball it just like I did last time. This one's really easy to eyeball, I think, because it's essentially just a bunch of squares. And this one, since it's just a bunch of squares, it's really easy to kind of determine where it should be placed in or on the layout. So I'm going to go ahead and just lay down this fun plaid. And then the next strip is actually just the zip strip off of one of the pages. And I am going to be out of ATG. So this is kind of a little extra tutorial that you get. So this is how you load an ATG gun, which it can be confusing at first. And I actually don't buy the Scotch brand tape. What I do is just buy the tape kind of in bulk right off of Amazon, and I will have that linked below. So this is not Scotch brand. I don't even know if it has a brand, but this is just what I get on Amazon. So what I do is just make sure that I feel for the sticky side and then make sure that I'm putting it in correctly. So this little notch right down here, you kind of just push that in while you are putting that little tape on, and then you kind of just weave it around this part, and it even shows you right in or on the gun, so it has little arrows right here. So you kind of just go over and around, and then over on this side I just go ahead and get it kind of twisted. To get it twisted, I just press this piece. I'll just cut this piece right off. But to get it twisted a little bit, I press the little trigger right there and then just kind of turn it. And then I just add, this also has some arrows on it, how to put this on, and some directions also right on this part right here where it kind of just shows you to twist it. So you twist the opposite direction and it is fully loaded again. So again, I will link where I get the tape from on Amazon because it is significantly cheaper if I buy the off-brand versus buying the Scotch. So go ahead and get that piece added. And then again, I do not have the photos figured out for what I'm actually going to do for this layout. But this one's actually easy enough where you can go ahead and get them laid down and then work on the actual placement of the photos later. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these photo mats laid down. And the photo mats in this one is actually the exclusive paper that comes with this workshop kit. So it's kind of got this really fun like swirl effect to it. It's just a really fun piece of paper, and it's only included in the workshop kit, not when you buy everything individually. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure these 2 are lined up and get that laid down. And I'm just looking off to the side of the actual instructions just to kind of make sure it's roughly where they have it. And then also just checking to make sure that it is straight. Again, you could use a T ruler or even the Versamat to actually figure out the exact locations. Up here is the title, and the title actually comes from the sticker pack that comes with it. So it's Stars Shine Brightest in the Darkness. So the stars are actually, or the word stars, is all individual letters. So my trick for making sure that letters are actually lined up is I will place them on a ruler first and then place them down onto the piece of paper. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these lined up on the edge, making sure that they are indeed straight. This way you don't have to worry about getting them placed down kind of crooked and then lifting them back up again. This way you know when you place them they are going to be straight and accurate. So what I'm doing on this ruler from Close to My Heart, you can actually see that there is a very, maybe if I do that, yeah. There's a very faint line right here. It's kind of got that grid. So I just lined it up on that grid part and just go from there. So the S, the first S, I kind of want to get moved over just a hair. And then the T is kind of bothering me. So the sticker below it kind of overlaps this sheet up here. So I'm actually going to put this sticker down first, and that'll actually help me line up the stars as well. So it just kind of overlaps it slightly. And again, with me kind of eyeballing it, I'm just gonna kind of go from there. And then I'm going to move down the ruler and place it on top. And lift it up a little because I don't want it exactly on top of it. And then I go ahead and press the top part down. And I'll actually switch it to the side because it's a little easier to do that, but make sure I'm still in frame. And then I just put my hand down there, or sometimes another ruler, and just kind of pull the stickers away. And then that way, when you push them down, they are all lined up. So that's just a little trick for lining up individual letters. Then they have, again, the 3 photos over here, and then there's a fun cluster of the trees and circles. So they do overlap over the photo, so I'm going to be mindful of that and make sure that I do not add, I think this one goes behind this. This one goes behind here. This one's up a little higher. Make sure that I do not add any kind of tape over here because, again, I don't have my photos laid down yet. So I want to make sure that when I am gluing, I'm only gluing on that side so I can tuck the photo right back in there. So that's roughly where that goes. So for the first one, I'm going to lay this flat and I am going to raise a couple of the pieces. So I'm just going to go ahead and lay this one down, making sure I do not have any tape on the back side. And once I do get the photos laid down, I can always add some tape just to make that stay down as well. The tree over here, it looks like it's flat on the photo. Maybe it is raised. I think I'm going to raise that one because there's another tree over here as well on the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and get some tape and raise that one. Adding some 3D foam tape to the back of this. Just to give some height and dimension to this. Again, just kind of eyeballing based off of what I can see on the photo. This one goes over here, so that one will also be, and then this circle's right about there. So I think I'm going to put this one flat onto the tree and then raise that tree as well. So again, just putting some tape on part of this circle, getting that one laid down, adding some 3D foam tape to the back of this one. So it is the same level and can be raised at the same height. That one just got to cut off a little bit of that there. Go ahead, get that placed there. And then this little part of the circle, I'm actually going to raise with this little extra dot as well. I think I'm going to move this one down just a little bit. That's the nice part with this like 3D foam tape. It is kind of forgiving. You can move stuff if you don't like it exactly where it was placed. And then this little tree is right over here. And I'm going to go ahead and raise that one as well. But for this one, I'm just going to make sure the bottom portion is raised. So I'm just putting tape just right here at the bottom. Then I'm going to go ahead and get that placed down right over there. But I don't want it completely lined up. And then this one, I think I'm going to add a little more tape to the side of this one. But again, making sure I have it on the bottom so the photo can get tucked right under. So this is free and this is free in this part. So I can just tuck a photo right in there. So here is actually... Oh, nope, we're not done. We have some fun other dimensions to add to it. So the other part on here, as you can see, are some fun little stars, but they're actually colored. So what you get in this pack are these craft colored punch outs. So I'm going to go ahead. It looks like there's a star up here. Another star over here. Those are colored green. And then these little stars look like they might actually be colored. I'm not completely sure if they are, but I'm going to go ahead and color mine a different brown tone. So I'm going to take out my tri-blend markers. So I'm going to take the earth brown blend and then the dull green, if I can get there, dull green blend. And I'm just going to go ahead and use, I think, the dark on both of them. I like those. So these are the markers that I used in the last video as well. And I said I really liked them because they are alcohol markers and you can actually shade them and use them with ink to actually color in. So there is that one. I'm going to use a light green for the other one, just to kind of add a different kind of touch, more texture, I guess, or color balance to the background. So there's that one. And then I'll go ahead and color the little other stars in with the brown. So again, I do really like these markers just because you are getting 3 different shades in one marker. And I just think that is a good use of your money, especially since with those 3 shades, you can actually combine them together to make other shades. So it's just a really nice addition to any kind of craft stash. So here is the last one. Again, just going ahead and coloring them in. And all the markers have the same tip. So all the end is this nice tip right there. Go ahead and make sure I get all of that. And with this, I'm just going to color it in or glue it down with the liquid adhesive as well. So just go ahead, get this element laid down. And I do like the liquid adhesive for the cutouts or the punch outs just because it dries fast, and if I accidentally put too much on, it will actually dry clear. So that's another plus. Go ahead and get this one laid down. I don't want it exactly over that tree because then it'll kind of almost look like a Christmas tree, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's just not the look I'm going for. Although I have seen a lot of consultants actually use this paper line for Christmas. So I just think that's actually really fun. And I'm hoping to get some Christmas in July things done to actually show you guys how this awesome paper pack could be used for Christmas or Christmas in July. So this is the first page. So this one's complete. Here's just kind of a close-up of that fun title. There's the stars. And it is a pretty simple page and very quick to put together, but it's also a very fun kind of you know, outdoors masculine kind of theme. So I really like that as well. So then the next page does have kind of a really fun element to it. It actually has a hidden journal kind of feature, which I thought was really fun because I'm pretty sure in my last video I said I don't put too much journaling on the actual page. I tend to write information either very vaguely on the actual page and write some information on the back, or hidden journaling I really like. And the only reason is I don't really like my handwriting, but I want to make sure that the story is there for the scrapbook pages, but I just don't, I think my handwriting takes away from the art of the pages, so I just kind of go ahead and do a different route. But this one had kind of a fun element because it comes with these punch outs as well. And you can see that there is this scored line to kind of make a pocket. So all you do is go around and just score that. And then you would just need a little bit of tape in the corner to kind of get it secure. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of this ATG down. And this whole thing would be taped down to the page, but for now I'm just going to make sure that those corners stay put, so when I assemble the page, I'll be able to kind of put them down a lot easier. So this one just gotta get a little more in the corner, right there. So then these tags that come out also as a punched out theme just kind of slide right in and out. And you could easily put another photo in here if you wanted to put more photos on your layout. And it'd be like, you know, a really cute little size for a photo. Or again, some journaling, or even you could tuck in some memorabilia. Let's say you did a really fun trip that you wanted to keep some keepsakes in your scrapbook pages as well. You could easily tuck that into this little pocket. So I'm going to go ahead and put that off to the side and get the two main pieces laid down. Now the circle does tuck behind here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get that one tucked behind there. So again, it roughly goes right there. So there is that piece. And then these two, this one kind of overlaps and this one goes right about there. So again, just going to go ahead and get these two laid down. And again, just kind of eyeballing it. But they do indeed have the exact instructions if you want to place it exactly where they had the photo mats placed. So I'm just going to go ahead and make sure these two are lined up. And then these two pieces actually tuck behind it. So I should have actually glued this down first, but I will make it work. So again, just going to go ahead and get the tape right on there. And again, with this ATG gun, it's really nice because it can just, it's only 1/4 of an inch, so it fits those pieces perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and get this laid down. And once again, a nice thing about the ATG, very forgiving if you do make a mistake like I just did. You can lift it up and tuck it right back down. So perfect. No one needs to know that it wasn't assembled in the exact right order, but in the end it will all come out. Again, adding a little bit of, oops. And it does rub off too. Another thing I love about this glue, or this tape runner actually. Go ahead and get this same thing tucked under, making sure I line it up. Trying to get it in the middle of the page as well, so there's the same amount of the photo on top and bottom. There we go, just trying to kind of get that flattened and rubbed down. And then again, these two pieces just kind of tuck right in there, and I just think that's such a cute little element. Again, so many things you could kind of tuck away and hide in that little area. This one also has a fun cutout from the cutout pieces that come with it, and it says nothing worth having comes easy. And again, there's some nice green in that one, so I'm going to go ahead and get that colored in as well, because it looks like come easy is actually colored in. I'm just going to go ahead and take that marker and just color in that part of it. Another nice thing with these elements, especially being on craft, you don't have to be the neatest colorer, I'm not even sure that's a word, but the best at coloring to get a really fun effect. So that's darkened, and it does, you can still see it in real life. It just kind of looks a little hard down there on camera. So then this piece is right down there, so I'm going to go ahead and get that popped up with some 3D foam tape as well, and make sure that I do not have it covering that photo. So go ahead and get a couple pieces of the 3D foam tape right on the bottom. Get that lifted up, and then it looks like there's a couple more star elements on this page. So I'm going to go ahead and get this laid down, and it does look like it kind of overlaps a little bit over this kind of hidden journaling. Then there's some stars, same thing as last time. Looks like those two are also colored in, so I'm going to go ahead and take the markers and kind of color those in again. Make this star down here the green, and then I'll take the star and make that the brown again. Another fun thing that you could do besides using the markers would be you could actually heat emboss on this, because it is actually a thicker chipboard. So you could actually dip it into some embossing and kind of, you know, heat emboss it as well. So dip it into some embossing powder. That would be really fun as well. Go ahead and add a little bit of the liquid glue to get that down. And then there is a nice little cluster over here featuring that bear that I absolutely adore. So I'm gonna go ahead, make sure I get him punched out. He almost looks like they colored him in brown as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and give him a little bit of coloring just to kind of make him darker. But on this one, I'm gonna be a little more careful just because there is some lines for him. The other one went right to the edge, but I'm gonna make sure I get him colored in. Kind of going back to making sure I coloring in the lines. Kind of reminds me of being in elementary school again, but that way he kind of has a nice tone to him that goes with the theme as well. Just go ahead and get him colored. And then there's just a few more elements. It's those trees that were on the other page. Same thing, kind of a punch out effect as well, with that fun plaid pattern that goes to the side of this as well, that kind of coordinates with the bear onto the right hand side of this page. And then that's essentially it, and this page is done. So again, why I really like the workshop kits is because they kind of do all the guesswork for you. Everything's designed, it's really easy to put together, and most of it is the fun little punch out theme as well. So it just makes scrapbooking really quick and easy. So the cluster kind of goes like that. I'm going to go ahead and get him glued down first. I'm actually going to use liquid glue on him just because this is a rather large element, and I want to make sure he stays put. And then there is a bit more wiggle room when you do use the liquid adhesive as well. You can kind of squish them down and squish them around if they're not exactly where you want them. And then if you go and do what I did and didn't put the tree down first, there's some room to lift him up and kind of tuck that tree back. So there's that tree. And then this one's right over here, and I kind of want that one a little bit raised, and I think the bear is the same thickness as that 3D foam tape. So we should be able to get the 3D foam tape kind of put on the bottom. And then it'll probably just take a little more liquid adhesive to add on top. So I just want to make sure. Actually, kind of want a little less, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this. And I know I talked about these scissors in my last video, and I just absolutely love these scissors. They are nice non-stick micro tip scissors, so you just cut right through anything sticky, and it seriously, it just comes off. It's amazing. I do love those scissors. I should probably get a few more pair just to, you know, have a spare just in case I kind of lose something, because I've done that before. I'm going to go ahead and use the liquid on this as well, just to get that glued down. So there is that tree, and that completes that element. And that completes that page. And the only thing that I noticed that I was missing on this page is there is kind of a fun little date stamp sticker right there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get that added to the top of this. And then here are the 2 pages completed. Let's see if I can get this fully in frame without knocking too much stuff over. So here are, and I'm just gonna move this a little bit just so you guys can see everything. So here are the 2 fully completed pages from the Timber Scrapbooking Workshop Kit from Close to My Heart. Thank you so much for joining me on my crafty adventure, and I will see you all next time.